This is Dr. Katie from Scribe Notes, and this is our next episode of What's Up Doc. Today I have with me Dr. Mansum Yau. Do you want to introduce yourself, Dr. Mansum?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Mansum. It rhymes with handsome, and I'm a veterinarian, also an author and illustrator, stand-up comedian, and public speaker.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 2010 from OVC, Ontario Vet College.
Awesome. I did not realize you went there. I went there too.
Yes,
Where are you practicing right now?
I'm practicing in Vancouver.
Okay, amazing. I'm so happy to have you on the segment today. I thought maybe we could explore a little bit about some of the things you've done in your career because it's actually super interesting. You are a veterinary comedian, which we don't really hear a lot about or see a lot about. Can you share with us how you got into that? Kind of what made you, start wanting to do comedy?
It was a really indirect route because if you had told me like one day you're going to do stand-up comedy, if you had a crystal ball and you told me that, I wouldn't have believed you. So I actually fell in love with public speaking first. I had um, a, a cat company reach out to me and asked me to do some public speaking online. It was like a virtual event. And I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, actually love talking in front of people, despite all these people looking at me, and I wanted to get better at public speaking, but there aren't a lot of like public speaking schools. And then another path that I was taking was I was writing jokes for my book, The Ins and Outs of Cat Carriers. And I love writing jokes, but I wanted to get better at it. They don't really teach you how to tell jokes in real life, but they do in stand-up comedy schools. So I thought, I'm going to feed two birds of one hand, or I guess the archaic term is I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, which doesn't sound very nice. So I decided to go to stand-up comedy school so I could get better at writing jokes and also work on my public speaking skills. And then I fell in love with stand-up comedy. I fell in love with making people laugh when I'm on stage. I actually like it better than regular public speaking.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's just such a wonderful feeling when you can make people laugh, like a whole room full of people. There's nothing compared to it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Where did you take your comedy school online or
In person.
in person?
Yeah, so there's a stand-up comedy school in Vancouver called Blind Tiger Comedy, and they offer other classes too, not just stand-up comedy. Offer improv and sketch. But I took stand-up comedy 1 and 2, and I'm hoping to take stand-up comedy 3 in the future.
Cool.
And so it's a series of 8 classes with one show near the end of the course. They also have condensed versions of the courses too that are just five classes instead of 8. But I took the longer one and got to meet some cool people that I otherwise wouldn't have met. And uh, yeah, every class we had to go on stage and talk, even if it was just for a few minutes. It's still practice.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds really neat. And I'm sure you get to meet people from all walks of life, which like you said is really it's nice like to kind of get outside your comfort zone when you're in vet med. Like we do a lot of that public speaking, but it's only one to one, right? So it's not like you're in front of a whole audience, you're just talking to one person. So yeah, that's a really quite a unique way to go about it. And so have you done any live shows?
I have. So in addition to the Scribe Note show, I did like 4 other shows. So I've done 5 so far. And I'm itching to do more, like I'm like itching to tell more jokes. Like I could just feel them like bubbling. And sometimes I'm not even, to be honest, some jokes come to me when I'm driving. Like I'm not even actively thinking about jokes, but they'll come to me and I'll start laughing and I'm driving.
Amazing. Yeah, everybody's got to have their own creative process, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure you need some kind of way to remember those, right? Like while you're driving is the hardest time to write them down.
Yeah, I use Siri a lot. I'd be like, Siri, create a note that says blah blah blah. And sometimes they're typos, but one of the things I learned from stand-up comedy school is if you don't write it down or record it, like if you don't have a voice note or a regular note, it's really easy to forget the joke. Even if, and it's not like age related. Like they're like my instructor is like, he's like he was not even 30 when he was teaching us. So he's like, just, I mean, now he's in his 30s, but he was like, you got to write it down, otherwise you'll forget.
Yeah, oh, and I agree with that
Yeah.
100%. You could
Yeah.
probably even try to use Scrivenote for that.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that might be another use case that we haven't tested out.
Yeah.
Um, so, other than comedy, you also are an illustrator. How long have you been drawing?
I started drawing, let me see, 6 years ago.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
not something you did from a child.
I did draw when I was a child, but only for school, not
Mm.
for myself. And I actually told this story in my book about how I got into writing, or sorry, drawing. My apologies. How I got into drawing. Um, so I'm a perfectionist. I have to admit that. And for the longest time, I didn't draw because whatever I drew didn't look the way I wanted it to. And it wasn't until I discovered erasable crayons that I started drawing, because I was like, if I make a mistake, that's okay. I can just erase it. To be honest, 90% of the time, I didn't even erase what I drew, but it was just knowing that I had the option to erase whatever I drew that helped. And then I switched from using erasable crayons to using an iPad, because I was told, like, no matter how good your drawings are, no matter how good your scanner is, it won't look as good if like as using an iPad, like digital drawings. So
Okay, that's really
yeah,
neat. And your book, that's the book you published. So you wrote and illustrated it, correct?
I did. Yeah. So
Eh,
that's why it took 6 years, because I have a full-time job and I'm a self-taught artist. So you can see a bit of the difference in the cartoons, like, because I'll show you the original cartoons that I drew, like very like crayon like, the very simplistic, and then I'll show you one of the newest cartoons that I drew for this book, and you can see that there's some stylistic differences, hopefully better quality, so you can see the
Oh
difference.
yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
And your book is The Ins and Outs of Cat Carriers, which
Yes,
yeah, which
a
is
veterinarian's guide to cat carriers.
yeah. So tell me why you came up with that idea. I think I already have an idea being in practice, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, I just noticed a lot of coworkers struggling to get cats out of carriers at work. And I myself have been bit by a cat. Like all I did was, like, I barely even touched a cat. I just put my cat, sorry, I put my hand into the cat carrier to help the cat, help guide the cat out. I didn't scruff the cat. I just barely put my hand in. And next thing I knew, the cat's teeth were in my hand. And yeah, and I've just like witnessed so many cases of people working injured, trying to get cats out of the carrier. People also show up late or not at all to sick vet appointments, because they can't get their cat into the carrier, and that happened a lot at the cat clinic that I worked at, and it happens at regular vet clinics too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I find like, yeah, in general, like getting the cats out of the carrier, if it's going to be an issue, like it takes
yeah,
quite a significant amount of time if you want to practice fear-free and you want to like let them
yeah.
come out naturally. So yeah, I totally agree. That's a super important step, right? And so we'll link your book in the comments of the show just so people can refer to it. But can you give us maybe a sneak peek? What's your favorite, your most recommended type of carriers, like what to look for in a carrier?
Yeah, so I like the carriers that open and close like drawers. So there are three that I can think of, and I'll show you a picture of them. So there's this one on the back of my book. This is the Van Ness Calm Carrier. So it looks like a regular hard side carrier, but then when you open the door, the bottom side is a lot like a drawer. Uh, so this is one option, and it's available on Amazon and on the Walmart website. Not sponsored by them.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that one
Yeah.
in real life. So that one is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It you do have to assemble this when you get it shipped to you. You do have to assemble it, and the I find the handle can be a bit finicky, so it has fallen out. So what you have to do is have to turn the other way and put it in. And once you put it in the other way, it doesn't fall out. So they really need to specify which direction to put it in. Sorry, my cat's moving my iPad here.
That's okay. That happens.
Yeah, and the door can be finicky. Like you have to get it fit in a certain way. If not, it's really hard to close the door. Um, Another option is the Travel Cat Transporter. spelled like
Some puns, yeah.
yeah,
Her.
Purr, yeah.
Yep.
So you can't see this, but behind my cat's feet, there's actually an insert in there that has a handle, and you can just pull it out like a drawer and then push it back in like a drawer, which is amazing because most soft-sided carriers have an insert on the bottom, but it's velcroed down to the bottom
Hmm.
of the carrier, and it
Yep.
makes it really hard to get the cat out. They won't come out on their own. So instead of Velcro, it really like they should get rid of the Velcro and put a handle instead, and so that you can slide the cat in and out.
Yep. I agree.
This Yeah, the same company has another carrier that's designed with a bottom like a sorry a drawer like insert. So they have more than one carrier like that by the Travel Cat Company.
Yeah, awesome. So some well thought out carriers that people could look into bringing their cats into the vet and obviously pre-visit meds and things to make them more comfortable. And I know you are super passionate about client education and you do some Instagram stories and things like that.
I
Um,
do.
what is your favorite aspect of client communication? Like, what's your favorite thing to teach about?
Uh, Toothbrushing.
Good, yeah,
uh,
amazing.
yeah, because we anthropomorphize cats so much, but for some reason, that's one thing that people think that cats don't need. They think that cats don't need their teeth brushed. I'm like, why? They have teeth too. Like, um, they need to eat with their teeth just like we do, and
Mhm.
they can live till they're 18, right? So imagine if you, or maybe even older than that. Like, imagine if you and I didn't brush our teeth for 18 years, how smelly and painful and horrible the teeth would be.
Yeah, yeah. I sometimes I try to use like things like that when I'm talking to clients, like just in general, being like, yeah, like if you didn't brush or floss your teeth, like how soon do you think you would need to go to the dentist? So yeah, so I think that's great. And I yeah, anything special from those videos? Like I think I remember you telling me about the cat toothbrushing video that you did that got a lot of hits that you weren't really expecting. Maybe tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I made this video for Dental Health Month, which was in February, and I was like, it's sunny. Like I try to record videos when it's sunny, and I try to like not make them too long because I know people have short attention spans. And the videos still end up being over a minute. And I was like, I don't think anybody's going to want to watch this. But anyway, it's recorded. So like I sent it to the videographer who helps me with the editing. And she sent it back to me and I uploaded it. And the interesting thing was the, the day before it went viral, I told someone like, I don't know how much longer I can keep making these videos. Like you know, um, it takes so much time and it's just not sustainable, and not many people watch them. And then it was like, yeah, the day of the next day is when the video went viral, and I really wasn't expecting it to.
And it was you brushing your cat's teeth, right?
Yeah. Uh, and like I brush my cat's teeth every day. And so it's not like I did any extra work in that respect, like except other than like, I had to explain what I was doing. And I didn't put a lot of thought into how to explain. I didn't like script it out, like, word for word.
Hmm.
I just do what I normally do, which is like put my cat in my lap to brush his teeth because he's a lap cat. And now I know that if I make another video, I should say like, oh, put your cat where it's happy, where it's comfortable. It could be your lap, your cat tower, a table. Like, I didn't specify where to put my cat, and people are really hung up on that.
Yeah, the things that you may not think clients will focus on, but then they do. And there
Yeah,
he
here's my
is.
cat
Speak of
making an
the.
appearance with his cone on. You can see the size of his cone. So
Yes.
this is a funny story. So someone in my neighborhood, in my Buy Nothing group, was giving away cones, and she's like, "Oh, it's a size, I don't know, 27 cone. I think that's the. She didn't know what the size of the cone meant, so she was like, "Oh, I think that's the diameter of the, around the neck." She's like, "I think it's a 27." Oh, sorry about that, Boo Bear.
He
She was
wants
like,
to be
"I."
involved.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she was like, I think that's the diameter of the neck part, and I had to be like, actually, it's the length of the cone. So like things that we don't think about it, in the veterinary profession, like people like. they know their sizes to cones, but have no idea what the centimeter or the inches refer to.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so just like a veterinary lingo for clients kind of book. Yeah, that's awesome
Yeah.
that you've been able to start working on that with the cat carrier book. And do you plan on doing more books?
Yes, I started two other books already.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you. Going very slowly though, because it takes a lot of time trying to spread the word about the cat carrier book, and also I'm like have uh, trying to find locum work and spend time with my pets and just live
Yeah.
life in general. So the other two books are coming very slowly.
That's okay. I mean, still, if it's something you're passionate about, right? You work on it slowly, and eventually, it's a real thing. So, I think that's really quite inspiring to have so many things that you're able to bring to the table as a veterinarian, and I think it's really awesome that you're so passionate about client communication and making people laugh and yeah, I just thought it would be really neat to get you on here and show people your experiences and your
Thank you.
book. And I think maybe what we'll do is we'll link your book in the comments. We'll link the comedy school you mentioned. Maybe one question for you, and if you don't know, that's okay. Are there in general, like, and this is my, like, I'm obviously not very knowledgeable in this area, but like, are there different comedy like networks, like within, say, like Ontario or like provincial or like the whole, like all of Canada that run courses, like where people could look up more specific to their area? Or do you know? It's okay if you don't.
Not that I'm aware of. I know of local schools. Like I know there's
Okay.
an improv school in Victoria. I know Dr. Sarah Boston, who's another vet comedian. She went to a different school in Ontario. So it, there are local Facebook groups, but I don't know of any, nationwide ones.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I
Yeah.
figured I would ask in case I was just curious. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you're interested in veterinary comedy, just probably
Mhm.
Google like, public speaking classes or stand-up comedy classes in your area, and that'll probably bring up some good search results, right?
Yeah. And I do want to say that I, didn't set out like thinking of like combining client education with comedy, but thankfully they complement each other really well because people are more likely to learn when they're comfortable, when they find something funny, than if you're like lecturing someone like, are you doing this wrong? Like it doesn't have the same feel, and it's also not me. Yeah. So I was talking to someone and she's like, "Oh, how did you blend the two things together?" And I was like, "Oh, I had never thought of it that way, but it's true. Like a lot of my educational videos are kind of silly, or hopefully funny, at least. Yeah.
I think that's a really nice perspective. I'm glad someone was able to kind of pick that out. It's probably something you didn't even mean to do, but you just did, which is really, really amazing, I think. So awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I recorded a series of a series of videos showing how not to show up to the vet with your cat. And at first, people thought I was just being silly, doing stand-up comedy things, like, pretending to be taking my cat to the vet and inappropriate things. And then I realized that they were actually based on true stories. And then they were shocked. They were just like, someone lugged their cat tower to the vet because they decided to use a cat tower instead of a cat carrier. Like, yeah, true story.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the things we see, you can't write that. It's you can't make it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, oh, it's just the industry, right? We see some pretty crazy things. So,
Yeah.
great. Well, I really appreciate you being on the segment today, and yeah, I think everybody really has a lot to take from your talk, like just to be able to be more comfortable talking in front of people and educating them with an approachable approach, which seems
Hmm.
like what you do. And yeah, d definitely check out Dr. Mansum on, you have YouTube, right?
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook, and maybe LinkedIn too. And
Yes.
we'll link her stuff at the bottom, and you can check out her book. So thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks everyone else for joining us. We'll see you next time on What's Up, Doc.